What's up, junkies? Welcome back in for another edition of Pigskin Junkies. Jared Larson having a seizure, getting himself psyched up for this podcast. Myself, Micah Larson, and Scott Panza all here for the podcast. Three
you guys
games.
said it was liftoff, so I was like an astronaut at the seat.
That makes me want to share the story so bad. Of
Feeling
what we
the
did.
G-forces like.
What was
You
that?
already did share it once. You've
I know.
actually already shared it on this podcast
Then I won't do it.
about our mission space. I think it's called.
Yeah, and the Spaceship Earth is one where you go sleep. So, anywho, that's the three of us. We're back. 3 games left of the NFL season, all championship games.
Hashtag sadsies.
Very sadsies.
Sadsies, big time.
Hashtag not sadsies for the Orlando crew because the Pro Bowl's coming here. Who cares? Raise your hand. Everyone raise your hand. That's right,
Most
all you
irrelevant
listeners.
thing,
I see you raising your hands as you drive. Put your hands on the wheel. Put your hand back on the wheel. 2 hands.
Is the Alliance Football League starting this year or is it next year? I've been seeing commercials and I'm going to watch.
This year.
But I don't know when. Oh, it's starting this year?
Mm-hmm.
The
So
draft.
there's going to be football, sort of.
Yeah, it's like Canadian football. You're just like, give me something.
Yeah, something to gamble on, something fantasy maybe. But how are you going to get people? Like, what degenerates are going to do fantasy football for the AAF with us? So it's going to be tough to find. But daily
I can't
fantasy.
wait till we're doing CFL previews in June.
Jared
so
loves him
horny
some
for
Canadian
football.
football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like Canadian League. I actually
You
enjoy
can
quite a
watch
bit.
that? Oh, man.
Yeah, on ESPN Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse you.
So,
Excuse that. UFC and Canadian Football League.
I forgot that those are some big fights this weekend for them. They apparently have a new title belt. I don't know. Whatever. I was.
That's service. That's service.
Please, unsubscribe. Let's see. Give me a break. No.
I get some hockey games on ESPN Plus. So, anywho, that's talking hockey.
Double unsubscribe.
Yeah, we're moving on. So Jared and Scott, as we aforementioned, were in the the DraftKings contest. Yada yada.
Sports betting championship.
Due to some recent stuff that has come out on Twitter that we cannot decipher, but if we used our what's the word that they use, the Rosetta Stone, we would interpret that shade may or may not have been thrown toward our direction. So we're not going to give out our picks because apparently that's frowned upon in this establishment. And if you know what this frowned upon in this establishment is from, you can be my friend. Does anyone here? You two?
No.
This is TV commercial knowledge. It's not Billy Mays.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know.
You remember those?
Frowned upon in this establishment.
Yeah, it's the baby in his cradle. You know, the E-Trade or
E-Trade.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
there you go. There's a little nugget for you. But we're not going to dive into all that. Really, we're just going to get into the games for the NFL because.
Oh, Micah, let's chat real quick about the Sports Betting Championship. Real quick.
Okay.
I love the format. It was a great idea by DraftKings. I really hope they do it for the college NCAA tournament first weekend because it's just oodles of action if they can build some props around it. Jared tweeted out we came in 19th. You know, a little sadsies about where it ended, and we couldn't get our last bet in. But
Felt like we could have done better.
Yeah, we suffered the same fate as Rufus. Curious to see what all the pending litigation, how DraftKings is going to address the situation. But, I just wanted to tout that 6-team NBA parlay we spiked because it's not just a football podcast here. We got some basketball knowledge, too.
He did spike a 16 NBA parlay on
over-unders, too, so we were really expert.
Remember, we've discussed, though, it's okay, so if we're going to give basketball props, you have to bring the Ice Wizard into the conversation.
No.
This is not.
I'm just saying
there will not be.
I'm just saying for myself that occasionally I might know some things about hockey. But, hey, if they know.
One of our lottery tickets from Friday night cashed and then put us in a nice spot for Saturday.
So this weekend we got football. It's going to be dumping snow in the Northeast, so that means I will be all in football, daily fantasy for Sunday because I'm going to have nothing to do on Sunday morning, and that's going to consume some time. And we're locked and loaded. I'm fired up for this weekend. Both games are going to be just stellar.
Any comments about last weekend though? Before we get into this weekend,
I was very, so game picks 3-1. Was very surprised how the Chiefs just torched the Colts as they did. Defense looked great. I'm surprised how shitty Andrew Luck looked. From the first snap, first throw, he looked off his game, and I was very surprised. Never got T.Y. Hilton going. Never got Marlon Mack going. Not surprised about how the Rams just dismantled the Cowboys, and little surprised about how amazing C.J. Anderson's running the football. Yeah. Told you that the Patriots, I couldn't get enough money on it. It was just Lock Universe. I'm sorry, Lance Lynn.
Lock City, blowout town, children's children on that game.
My goodness. And sadsies for the Eagles and Alshon Jeffrey, but I think we got the matchup everyone wanted. Saints-Rams, Pats-Chiefs.
But yeah, you got to be happy because the Eagles covered, though. So
Eagles did cover. Correct.
That's good. Jared, what'd you end up? Because I think I was the smart person and hopped in the boat with Scott and just kept rowing, where I believe you tried to go against the current a couple times.
I believe official plays on the podcast, I would have been 4-0 because I went against on the Chiefs. I had the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I also had the Rams. I said I'm not stepping in front of the Scott Panzer train with the Pats, and then with a gun to my head, I took the Eagles.
That's true.
You tweeted Saints though, but there was also a lot of no plays last weekend. There better be no plays.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Agreed. Rams was like a no play. Eagles was like a no play. So I don't know. I was on the right side of the games that I selected, but I feel like we got lucky. We had Rams in the contest. I feel like we got lucky with that, with McVay going for the touchdown. Yeah, we did. We definitely did get the Jason Garrett dump face.
Not going for 2. Every gambler out there was just elated that he didn't go for 2 at the end. I mean,
well, that's what, there were so many things like in the last 6 minutes of that game where I'm like, I feel like the Cowboys should have covered the number and didn't. But one of them was McVay went for it on 4th and goal from the whatever foot line. Second thing was Garrett didn't go for 2. I mean, so whatever. You're flipping coins a couple times where you expect to get a touchdown on 4th and goal from the foot line. You also, it's a 50-50 prop for them to get the 2-point conversion. There's a lot of those things, but just the fact that the one converted and then the other didn't even attempt was great. But that's, I mean, that I do feel like that's part of the handicap is we know Jason Garrett's a moron and he's not going to do things. So it makes certain numbers less relevant than others. I mean, you'd be silly, in my opinion, to ignore that. He's just not a good coach. Did I read that he got an extension after the game?
Did he?
I know they fired their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, they got rid of Linehan today. Who are they going to bring in? Who's going to be their new OC?
Yeah, the problem is at the top, not whatever.
Go Razorbacks.
Like 9 years. Yeah, the Chiefs looked fantastic. I can't say I was surprised by that. Patriots really overwhelmed me with just a dominating performance. And then, we watched the end of the Eagles game, and Alshon Jeffrey drops it, and it turns into an interception. And I think a lot of people assume that they would have just scored from. That's my favorite part from the Eagles fans is like they assume that it was 100% that they would have scored from the 35-yard line with 2 minutes left. It's like
they must not have watched that Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl. Must have missed that.
Like maybe you would have, but I just don't like the fact that the foregone conclusion that they would have scored.
How about Alvin Kamara almost broke that last run for a touchdown?
Oh.
It would have been a non-cover.
Yeah,
that was freakishly close to being a see you later type of run.
You think he would have done the Todd Gurley
fall at the one?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's scoring that touchdown, and
I think so too.
The lid would have blown off that place.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be jumping in there again this weekend.
So there you go, Jerry. That's a good transition. Let's get into it.
Nice segue.
It's like you prepared for this.
I didn't, but
it's like there was a rundown or something.
None
Trick
of those
question.
either. Didn't
No
prepare.
rundown.
No rundown. Mike and I are playing golf tomorrow, Scott. How does that make you feel? You'll be trapped inside. No.
I'll be trapped inside.
It's gonna be
I'm
70.
really sad that you guys get to play golf and I get to, I don't know, watch snow fall. But
There's not even any football tomorrow. That's like
there's nothing tomorrow. Is there NBA? I don't even know. I don't know what to do with my
I
Saturdays.
think it's college hoops.
You know what's
Oh.
on? You know what else is on? Hockey.
Yeah. Hockey, college basketball, none of the above will be absorbed.
Maybe I'll watch Dirty John again
There you go.
on Bravo because it was just fantastic. And I have to find a movie on Netflix or something.
Friends from College. Very good TV show on Netflix.
I heard that's very good. Maybe I will watch that. Thank you, Micah.
There you go. There's a plug for Friends from College. There you
We're
go.
sponsored by Netflix now.
Yeah.
Still have no sponsors. I'm working. I got to get to work on that.
Yeah, come on. So, we'll go with the first game, the 3:05 kick. The Rams, the Saints, rematch.
Fired up.
Rams
I think
plus
it was our
3.5. Coming into
second week that I started hopping on the show with you guys. It was week 9 that they played, and it was my favorite bet of the weekend, Rams over Saints. Well, guess what? We're back. We're back on the Rams. Back on the Rams, 3.5. Rams money line over. That is the official pick. I'll tell you why. Rankins out for the defensive line of the Saints. What they've been so good at all year, stopping the run. Well, he's one of the most important pieces there to stopping the run. He's torn Achilles. He's out. I'm expecting a fresh Gurley, a fresh C.J. Anderson to be able to run the ball on these guys. Secondly, Andrews Pete. Did you see how they were targeting him all last week? Well, Fletcher Cox, it seemed like the entire Eagles defensive line was hurt at some point of the game. Well, Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh, this is their money-making time. I expect them to get after Drew Brees. Drew Brees has not looked sharp the past few weeks. Another thing from the first matchup, the game changed on a turnover, and the Saints got out to a massive lead. The Rams closed the gap in the game, and then the Saints kind of closed them out. But also, Aqib Talib did not play that game, so Marcus Peters just got torched by Michael Thomas the whole game. When Michael Thomas is in the slot, Talib will not be guarding him. But if he's on the outside, I'm expecting Talib all over Michael Thomas. Beyond him, they don't really have a ton of talent in the wide receiving core. So I am all in on this Rams team. I had him in my power rankings number 1 majority of the season. I still think they're the best team in football. I am hopping all over this train. Sean McVay learned from his mistakes last year, rectifying them this year. See it in the Super Bowl. See you in Atlanta, LA Rams.
Very succinct. I don't have a whole lot else to add. I also will be on the Rams. I think that the front four of the Rams will be able to at least limit the running game of the Saints, which has really been their strength all year. I think a lot of the brand of the New Orleans Saints has been that they kind of zip it all over the place. And that has been the team in years past. But this year they're really built on the shoulders of Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. And with the front seven, I expect that to be limited. And as Scott already mentioned it, Aqib Talib brings an entirely different aspect to the defense. When he plays, I want to say it's like 18 or 19 points a game, and when he doesn't, it's over 30. So a lot of that is a trickle-down effect. A lot of that has to do with the fact that the Rams don't have a lot of depth. They're healthy. They have their starters playing. I think this team will look a lot more like the team you saw in the first 10 weeks of the season as opposed to the team you saw in the last 7 weeks of the year. I like the hook. I like the 3.5. I think they can get it done, but I do expect this to be a close game, one way or the other. So in games where I've used coin flips, obviously I'm going to take the points, getting the 3.5 here. I do think that the Superdome is worth 3.5 points in terms of home field advantage. It's going to be loud. I already mentioned it's going to be lit in there. So I think this is what the bookmaker is telling you is this is a coin flip game on a neutral. And the 3.5 number is really indicative of playing it in New Orleans.
Yeah, I think this is a game that you look at.
Uh-oh.
What?
Are you going to go Rams?
I don't know. You got to let me speak my piece here. I think it's really hard for me because I still have, like, nightmares of Brett Favre in 2009. And They've been replaying that play a lot because, of course, they're like, oh, the last time the Saints were in the NFC Championship game, this is what happened. So I have to watch Brett Favre roll to his right at the 40-yard line. We have Ryan Longwell, the kicker, and he tries to – the gunslinger's going to gunsling, even though he's got 15 yards in front of him, no one around, run up 5-7 yards, get out of bounds, and there's still like 30 seconds left. You put Ryan Longwell out there, and you kick a freaking field goal and you go to the Super Bowl. But no, my life is a sham. So,
did Darren Sharper intercept that ball?
I think he might have.
No.
No.
Isn't he like a chomo?
No, it was a different guy because then he ended up getting a pick six in the Super Bowl. The same person.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's just useless garbage that I know. The hottest hidden safety in the league. Man, for the sake of parity, I want to go with the Saints. And I kind of have to remove my fan hat for a second on like to Drew Brees and just wanting him to kind of go out. I like cheering for Drew Brees. I think he's a way cooler person than Jared Goff, which I feel like isn't a hard thing to be, but I think that the Rams, like Scott, you were saying, that they learned from last season and came into the postseason just pedal to the metal, rocking and rolling. That diesel engine was cranked up and still just rolling downhill, where the Saints were kind of holding it back, and you could see it early in that game that it took them a while to shake the rust off. If they do that again, this Rams team will jump all over them a lot faster. They have a lot more explosive players, and that offense is explosive. Now, Peyton is very good at putting in 2 to 3 trick plays that can swing the momentum of the game, so those will keep me scared. It's like when you play Gus Malzahn, you just have to be ready for some fluke play to just throw in there halfway through. Now, Peyton's plays work most of the time, but
yeah. Oh, yeah, I was going to ask. The reference went over my head.
So I sadly am also not sadly. You know what? Screw it. Every time when the three of us are together, usually good things happen. It's just when Jared and I are together.
Recently.
So the three of us all on the Rams.
Hot.
This is a Rams podcast. So now we're going to move to the AFC. I can't wait for this
Jared Goff, Road Warrior.
Oh, man. Does NBC have this? Who has these games?
No, Fox and CBS.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then CBS has the Super Bowl, right?
Slide in.
So hopefully, they CBS is holding steadfast on not talking about gambling on their broadcast of the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship. But
so stupid.
So dumb. Yeah. I mean, I was out at a bar with some friends last weekend for the Rams, Cowboys, and the Chiefs, Colts, and I'm telling you, everyone in that bar had money on the game, and they were all so sadsies when the Colts guy dropped that touchdown pass because it did not cover their teasers. That blew up all their teasers, and they were flipping out about it. I was like, gambling in America, alive and well, except in this great state of Connecticut.
I'm actually going to use this opportunity to quickly interject for a description. What was it? What did I call it, Jared? For you, it was gambling terms with Jerry, but I'm going to do it on this one. So we're going to do
That's right.
Let's just describe teaser so that everyone is on the same page.
Teasers when you can between if it's a 2-game teaser, you add 6 points to the spread and the over/under, and you can apply it either way on the game, so you can make it a little bit more juicy. But the only kicker is that both of those numbers have to hit for you to win the bet, and also pushes or losses in teasers. Not like a parlay where it just, reduces
Unless you're Nevada.
Exactly.
Push on a teaser in Nevada is a push for the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Fun fact. And then 3-game teasers, you get 10 points to swing over, under, spread, either way.
So there you go.
This is true. So you take the line, you take whatever the normal line is, you add 6 points or subtract in the case of a favorite. You get 6 points to your benefit, effectively. But you have to hit both sides of the teaser in order to win the bet.
Gotcha. So, there is. I wish I had I should insert the pig noise there, like end of segment of like. So now, the moment you've all been waiting for, because I cannot wait to hear the analysis of this game, because I know Scott's been sitting in his lair at home, just calculating, almost probably more than Belichick. So the Patriots coming into this game as a dog. Chiefs favored -3 at Arrowhead. 6:40 p.m. kickoff.
It's going to be a great one. And we have Monday off, by the way.
Oh, Monday off is awesome. If you listened to me last week, I hope that you heard the enthusiasm that came through my voice. So I was so excited to face the Chargers. And I knew that we were just going to light them up. I don't have the same excitement for this weekend. This Chiefs team makes me nervous. They're very good. Damian Williams can run the ball. They have a ton of weapons. You know who's torched us in every game? Tyreek Hill. Every Tyreek Hill prop bet on catches, touchdowns, yards. I'll be all over this weekend because we don't have the weapons to stop him. We do have the weapons to stop Travis Kelce. I think Patrick Chung will be all over him. Where we have massive advantages is head coach. You know, just like last week where Rivers is 0-7 against the Patriots, Andy Reid is 1-5 against the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. I think that cannot be overlooked. I think the type of defense that the Chiefs play is so susceptible to the Patriots type of offense that they should be able to move the ball up and down. The fears for the Pats is they do not travel well this year. I don't know the reason for it. I can't explain it, but what I'm confident on is that the Chiefs last weekend run defense looked amazing. I don't think that they will be looking as amazing this weekend. I'm going to take the 3. I'm not telling you the Patriots are going to win. I'm saying it's going to be a 3-point game. So worst case, I'm pushing. I believe in Tom Brady. I love that they're getting points in this game. I think that it will motivate that entire locker room, but I don't have the same juice as I did last weekend. I will not lie to everyone here. I think the Pats win, but I don't have a ton of confidence in it. I take the under. I like the under as well. I think it's going to be a slower game. The cold is going to affect the game, and I know it's the trendy pick right now, but I don't see Patrick Mahomes just moving the ball all over the place. And I do think that the nerves have gotten to Patrick Mahomes in primetime games this year. I think that AFC Championship, they may hit him a little bit. I think it's being overplayed how much the cold has affected him on Twitter today. RJ Bell tweeted out something. I don't think it's going to have a massive effect on him, but I'll take the Pats.
What did he tweet out? I didn't see it.
His worst 5 QBR games
I'm teasing. I'm blocked by RJ.
That's right.
That's why. Yeah.
So I know my close personal friend Jared Larson disagrees with my pick, and I can't wait to hear why.
I thought you were going to say I love Tom Brady.
I love Tom Brady too.
You got to buy those PJs still, Scott. I do.
This thing's for like $80.
That's what I'm saying. But hey, this man just finished
pajamas.
Second in the Super Contest. Just a little
true.
PJ.
You can afford some TB12 PJs.
Just feel rejuvenated every morning.
I texted Scott. I said, "You're not going to like what I have to say because I'm taking the Chiefs. I liked them last week. I think this team is really good. They're at home. They're in the comfort of their own beds and the routine of playing well." Scott mentioned it, and I was going to harp on it. New England has not traveled well this year. Mm-hmm. They have not traveled well historically in the playoffs. I will, and interestingly, so I watched the Blazing Five with Colin Cowherd this afternoon.
I did
fully intending to say actually exactly what he said, that New England's offense is, he said efficiency. New England's offense is built on tempo, expectation, and being able to control the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. That's significantly more difficult to do on the road. I think that is no surprise why they haven't had the level of success on the road that they have had at home, and I expect that to continue. Now, I do agree with Scott. I think they're going to score some points, probably low 20s, simply because the Kansas City defense is not that great. I do expect my guy D Ford to get some pressure on old TB12.
Scott doesn't get that joke either.
Nope.
Yeah, sorry. D Ford went to Auburn, Scott, and he has a really, really high.
Talks like this.
D Ford talks like this.
He'll rip our face off, though. So
I think they'll be able to get pressure on him. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to throw the ball down the field. Tom Brady's 41 years old. The zip on the ball is not there. It's going to be very, very cold, making it harder and harder for him to get the ball downfield. So I'm with Scott. I lean under here for that reason. I could see some long drives from New England. But Patrick Mahomes continues to impress me. Arm angles, slinging it. Tyreek Hill, to Scott's point, has been all over the place. And I think the Kansas City defense is able to make enough stops. Again, my personal opinion on the NFL is you're going to score more with explosive plays than you are with these 10, 12, 15 play drives, because there's going to be a penalty, or there's going to be an error on the offense, or there's going to be something that you just don't anticipate. So I think Kansas City will score touchdowns. I think New England will score field goals. And as a consequence of that, I will lay the 3 and take the Chiefs. Also lean to the under.
Oh, man. Jared, I will tell you, you just get me so fired up with everything you just said. Oh God, now I'm fired up for Sunday. We'll tell you that the Pats O-line is really overlooked this year, because that is a great offensive line group. Shaq Mason is an absolute monster. I don't know if you saw him and Joe Tooney run block last week, Jared, but it was pretty impressive. I don't know who D Ford is. But I will tell you, to your point about Tom Brady and the cold, 24-4 in games under 30 degrees. So there's some track record there.
I would be interested to see what that is at home versus road.
I was going to say, probably most of those are at home.
Because in Boston, I feel like a lot of those they're playing at home.
That's very, very fair. I was hoping.
That's not to say that it wouldn't be as dominant. Not to say that it wouldn't be as dominant. I mean, you're 24-4. Like, that's
unreal.
Holy shit. But I think you back out, okay, home games. And I think I would say the same thing about the primetime deal with Mahomes. All those games were on the road.
One was at home. And also the Chargers.
A game in Foxborough. Yeah. Well, I think to a man, anyone would say that was a little fluky. What were they up 21-0? 17-7, something like that.
So I get to be the tiebreaker? Is this what you're telling me?
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm scared shitless of picking Andy Reid in a championship.
Yes.
That does scare me.
The Kool-Aid man scares me. Huge football guy, though. Did you see him out there? He was wearing like his big puffy jacket and shorts with shoes at practice the other day.
No, but he would.
It's phenomenal. That mustache is beautiful. I never bet against the Patriots coming off of a bye. But as Jared had mentioned, on the road this year, Patriots not very good. Arrowhead has been dying for this opportunity. So talk about two awesome home field advantages this weekend. Now, Foxborough is great too. I think of all of them, I think Arrowhead's going to be, they hold the record for loud. No, Clemson broke that a couple of years ago. But, that's the loudest NFL stadium on record. And our Uncle Lee is going to be very proud of us, and our cousin Rhiannon, that Jared and I are both going with the Chiefs, which means, damn it, you better put your money on the Patriots.
Pass by a million. Lock it in.
Scott, you're welcome. You can thank me later. I just think I'm in the regime change mode right now. I watch Clemson just beat the living tar out of Alabama, and you kind of see a little bit of a regime change. Maybe this is it in the AFC. Who knows? I'm not.
Eight straight for the Pats.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it's not October. It's not the October Pats-Chiefs game where the Pats come out, look like a dog, just got beat in a corner, and then everyone claims that the dynasty's over. This is playoff football. Man. This is Tom and Bill at their best going up against a young Mahomes. I love watching what Belichick does defensively to try and just manipulate. What was it? Was in the Bill and Bill 30 for 30, whatever it was.
Parcells.
The two Bills,
yeah. Where he talks about if we're going to win this game, we have to let them rush for 120 yards. I think that's going to be almost the game plan is look, take away the pass, make them check down into a run, and then you just bend but don't break on defense, and then you just possess the snot out of the ball on offense. And they can't. If there's a team you hear everyone say it oh, you gotta have the ball and then run the ball effectively. Blah blah blah.
The run.
Yeah.
Throw the clock.
Yeah. Shout out Pete Carroll. Have you established the run yet? But The Patriots, they do it like you saw it early. This isn't a team that has to hand it off between the tackles to be effective with their running backs. They get it on the edge. They had that playbook was absolutely beautiful last week. That first drive was like the whole first quarter.
Yeah, they look good.
So that part scares me.
So much fun to watch.
It was phenomenal. And you heard my favorite thing about the whole game was Bosa being mic'd up, and he's like, "I'm back there in 2.5 seconds, and I'm a second late. Like I'm back there
it was
easy,
out quick.
but the ball's out. Like there's nothing I can do." If it goes into a shootout, that's why I like the Chiefs, because I could see it going that way. Because
no explosion downfield from Pats.
Yeah.
No. And it's a huge concern. It's a huge concern. The first game when we played the Chiefs, we were able to hold them to field goals in the first half, and then it was a track meet in the second half. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Will we get dialed up this weekend? Brian Flores, he had it dialed up last week, so I'm sure they're putting in the extra hours this week. They're definitely in the offices right now, sniping tape.
Did he get the deal for Miami? Is that a done deal, or is that like? It's
not a done deal, but I'm
whispers?
sure that since Miami still hasn't hired someone, that he's their guy.
I can't believe they're going to let him leave in division.
What the head coach? What's his butt just went to the Jets? I guess but he was fired.
That's because they fired his ass. Yeah. Different. Go. I mean, you want your people to succeed. I understand that, but I mean, and I guess college is different. There's limited jobs in the NFL. There's only 32 head coaches. So.
Yeah. So I'll ask this. This will be a bonus. This is just kind of among us. How many Deflategate references will be made in this with the cold air? We'll put it like
way too many. And it's all played out. It's all played out.
2.5. Over under is 2.5.
Over.
Wow.
Because they're also going to talk about Cleve Blakeman, how he had a hand in it. It's unsubscribe to any Deflategate nonsense.
Scott's been thinking about this already. He's fuming.
When's it gonna go away? I had to listen to Rob Parker say that. This guy's just like talk about losers. I don't know why does Colin Cowherd have him? He must have naked pictures of him or something. Because why does Rob Parker have a job? He's just an awful analyst.
Terrible.
He's been talking about Tom Brady and the Patriots, their demise since 2012. So how is this guy on television?
Yeah,
I agree. He's terrible. He sucks.
Awful. Why does Colin's got to have him and Dilfer on? Like, can you just punt those guys?
Dilfer dimes, baby. Dilfer dimes.
Can't get anyone better.
He's got a Super Bowl ring. He knows what he's talking about. Come on.
Just goes like this, flashes.
Him and Joe Flacco, both carried to the promised land by Ray Lewis. So, fellas, any closing thoughts?
I think any Super Bowl matchup is awesome. Let's rank them. I will start. Pats-Rams is the game I want to see the most. Then I want to see Chiefs-Rams. Pats-Saints, and Chiefs-Saints would be the least interesting to me, and still I'd be fired up to watch it.
Yeah, I would agree with Scott. I think any game remaining, any of the combinations left are intriguing to me. You said Chiefs-Saints last, Scott. I would say Chiefs-Rams 1, Chiefs-Pats 2, Pats-Saints.
Did you say 3. Chiefs-Pats?
Rams-Pats.
Rams-Pats. Chiefs-Saints is left. I would agree with you there. I want to see Tom go for the second. He's got 4 or 5?
He has 5. He's 5-3 in Super Bowl.
I want to see him go for the second hand.
Oh man, could you imagine those pictures?
Who says it's going on the hand? Anywho,
that's probably where I'd pick it.
Can I get size for this?
Tom, for the previous 5 rings, you got size 8. Now you're asking for size 14. Did you break your finger? No. Just give me the size 14.
It's going to be a great picture. Just wait. It's going to be like Brett Favre, but way better. I think for me, the one I want to see again is just I want to see the Chiefs and Rams again because that was just such a fun football game the first time. And then I'd probably throw Saints Chiefs next for me.
Micah really wants to see the Chiefs.
Well, this is the thing.
The Chiefs.
My thing, and it goes with Alabama too. And I love watching the Patriots play, but there is just a sort of rejuvenation to it for me when they aren't in it, where it's like, okay, like,
yeah, you're not a Pats fan, so you got fatigue. Scott's different because he loves them.
Yeah, I would cut off my right arm to have what Scott has, but I don't. In literally every sport, he has it way better than I do. It's fine.
Except for the Knicks.
We're fine. Yeah, that's
Poor
true.
bastard.
Well, it's not like at least they have a history of championship caliber. The Magic and the Wolves are just absolute hot, steamy poop. So, but that's Micah talking basketball. That's the depth of my knowledge.
That's it.
I could name that whole 04, 05 T-Wolves roster, but I'll save you all from that.
Tom Gugliotta with his barbed wire tattoo.
Yeah. Mark Mad
On the
Dog.
bicep. Ugh.
Mark Madsen, Fred Hoiberg, Troy Hudson, Trent Hassel, Michael Oakandi.
Troy Hudson, that's right.
Yeah, he was a rapper. Anywho, that's just totally, I'm going to stop now. That's going to do it, though. So we've talked about it. Those are our favorites. Let us know what you think. Probably get a nice Twitter poll on that one. Thanks for the idea there, Scott. But yeah, that's going to do it. Myself, Michael Larson, Jared Larson, Scott Panza. Think about Jared and I tomorrow. If you're in a cold area, Jared and I will be out there just playing the links. Shout out, Scott. Stay warm. Stay classy.
Go Pats. Go Pats, baby.
We're out of here.
See ya.